Hi everyone. So welcome to our next episode of What the F1. This is your host Abhinav and the other person is Ankit. So a lot of exciting things happened this weekend.
So let's have a quick recap of the Miami GP. Kimi, three races, three poles, three wins. Nobody has ever done that yet. Russell, 43 seconds behind his own teammate. Leclerc, 20 seconds penalty for trying to survive the final lap with a broken car. Verstappen, spun, recovered, penalized, and still voted the driver of the day. Ferrari, most upgrades on the grid, and the worst result of the top four. This is the Miami GP. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so I want to just start with talking about Kimi. Like a fucking teenager who has three poles, three wins, first one to score 100 points this season, and first driver to ever convert maiden three poles into wins, which is like a clear 20-point gap from his teammate. It's something that is not because of the car, just like there are a lot of things we have to talk about this driver. Like he definitely has the talent. He is breaking all the records, and I think he'll continue to do so. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
what was your point on the whole Antonelli thing?
I think he's showing great potential as of now, and I think he could be the next Max Verstappen. I think he's the next Verstappen. It's not like he could be. He is on the path to be there. But speaking of Mercedes, we have to speak about Russell. I mean, he was the preseason favorites, and four races into the season, and he's already 20 points behind his teenager teammate. I mean, he finished 43 seconds behind in Miami and P4 in that car where he should have been, on the podium and potentially fighting for the win, but he was nowhere near. So I don't know. It's not like it was one bad race. It's we have been seeing this in the past three races. So like being out qualified and out raced by his teammate, I don't think it's a good sign for Russell at this point.
Yeah, Russell really needs to be worried right now because McLarens
Yeah,
are catching up and they're catching up hard. Like,
yeah.
there are arguments that McLarens had a better pace. It is just Norris being Norris who fucked up. Still don't know how he's a champion, but okay, we'll call it him a championship because there's no way getting past it. But whatever he did, like Antonelli was awesome covering up the seconds on the out lap, and obviously the pit lap, or sorry, the tire change also had to do with how good Mercedes is in the garage also. But a clear pattern emerges, like Norris not able to take pressure when he's supposed to. He is only able to do well when there are small races like sprint or anything else. There should have been a McLaren's win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, he finished I think 2 or 3 seconds behind Kimi. So the pace was there. He was not able to put pressure on the teenager. I mean, it couldn't get easier than that. If you had Max Verstappen ahead, I think I can still get used to the fact that you cannot finish ahead of him. But it was Kimi with the minimum experience he has. So it was a great chance for Norris to get his first win and show why he's a champion, which I also don't agree. But yeah, but I think Oscar also had a very good weekend, even though he was not on pace with Norris. But still, it was a great weekend for him, finishing on podium, and it was a double podium for McLaren as well, showing that the upgrades worked really well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all in all, McLaren had a very good weekend and something to build on that.
Yeah, I'm definitely supporting Piastri, even though that's very opposite from the drivers I have in my fantasy league. But it's fine.
Yeah, and talking about the teams, I think we should talk about Ferrari. I mean Leclerc specifically because Hamilton had a. I mean, it was just another race for him. Nobody spoke about him. Nobody talked about him. But Leclerc, on the other hand, if the race had finished 2 or 3 laps before, it would have been a podium for him. But imagine the scene like he went to P4, then he finished P6 with a broken car, then to get a penalty and finishing P8. I mean, it couldn't get any worse than that.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was a huge bummer. I really wanted to see Leclerc to be on the top, at least in the podium. If not Verstappen, then it has to be Leclerc.
Right, right.
Yeah, but Leclerc held Verstappen tremendously. Like the 5 second penalty didn't do any damage to Verstappen thanks to Leclerc's 20-second penalty. Like that really saw a lot of things. I think Red Bull didn't show their true potential this particular weekend. Like there are a lot of fuck ups that happened where Hajar got out, where Max spun up, but the way he was able to reach to P5 from where he was, definitely he deserves driver of the day.
Right, I completely agree. I think Verstappen just showed everyone why he's the best of the rest. And speaking of Hajar, I don't know, it's just a minor misjudgment by his side. He could have had a very good race and he could have scored very valuable points for Red Bull as well. Like, I think he was on par to get a P7 or P8 finish if everything went well. But yeah, I think he's still doing a lot better than considering he's in the second Red Bull seat. But yeah, there are a lot of places where Red Bull can improve, and I think they can bring the fight to the top three teams as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Like Verstappen is definitely a gold standard. But we also have someone who is helping Red Bull drastically, which is Lawson. Not by his pace, but by causing enough accidents. For example, Gasly in this particular example, where his car was absolutely flipped upside down. And it was hilarious to watch, and there was no penalties given to him. Which I would say is a lot of slightly sus in my opinion, but do you think the gearbox is actually what happened and he was not able to do it?
I think it seems like just an excuse, but they have the telemetry data. It could as well be true. But my main concern is whenever there is a crash, there's loss and always involved. So you never know if it was intentional or it was just actually a gearbox failure. But yeah, he's always involved in the crashes, which is not a good sign for any driver. But speaking of Alpine, I think we have to talk about Colapinto as well. He had a very good race without any mistakes, doing very well on his own and having a good race. He finished P8, which is already a good result for him, matching his previous best F1 finish. But then Leclerc's penalty helped him even more, jumping up to P7, and now that's his best performance in F1.
Yeah, would you call Alpine as an underdog for this season, or do you think they're not to that level yet?
No, no, they're definitely underdog. I think they could very well be the top of the midfield, and I think they are right now. But they need consistent performance from both the drivers, Gasly and Colapinto. Gasly is already doing a very well job, but yeah, Colapinto is also stepping up. So I think Flavio will be very happy with that.
Yeah. Even Williams are worth mentioning. Like they definitely made a huge improvement, but still a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, the car is lighter. That's a good sign for them. And finishing double points, so that is a very good result for him. At least they have something to show that the upgrades worked and the drivers are also working well with the car. And I think with maybe a few more upgrades introduced in the next few races, they could very well be in the top midfield fight. And I think they definitely have the drivers for that. They have the top drivers in their team. I think apart from the top four team, they have the best driver lineup.
Um, I'm not sure if I agree with that. I would actually say that Williams drivers are better.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the opposite. So I was a bit worried. But yeah, they definitely have a very good lineup. So I'm just being moderate that since they are not the top four team, that's why I said that they might have the best driver lineup. But yeah, I agree with your point completely.
Yeah, yeah. Moving on, there were a lot of upgrades that we saw this weekend. So basically, Ferrari brought 11 changes, McLaren, Red Bull, and Williams, like all they brought seven new upgrades. And I think there's a potential to be even lot more upgrades that are going to happen in upcoming races. There are new regulations, pretty much same shit, putting band-aid on the same things that were going on until now. But we expect to see much more interesting things happening down the line.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kimi and Mercedes particularly are still top of the field, but the gap is closing. McLarens are very close. Ferrari were always close, and you see Red Bull also. I think they didn't show their true potential, but they are also still in the fight. and you can never count Verstappen out. So there's that as well. So I think the season is going to be very good. I think there will be a very good championship fight which nobody was expecting, but seeing the upgrades working for the other team, I think that is a huge potential.
Hmm.
And even Stella confirmed that for the next three races, McLaren is still planning on bringing upgrades. So you never know; they could be winning the races in the next few races, I guess.
Yeah, that will do wonders for my fantasy pick, which is Norris is on my side. Like if Piastri is not able to defeat him.
Yeah, I have Oscar, so don't get too happy.
But yeah, for this one, I think Kimi just absolutely saved you here. Else, I would be on the top. Like,
Yeah.
it's very surprising that we are tied right now. But yeah, that keeps it interesting though.
Yeah, I think all my drivers are performing well. I can't say the same for you, but
It's fine. It's a long race. We'll figure out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but anyways, like for this upcoming race, my top three, I'll have to put Max Verstappen there because I think it's a potential unknown. So I'll put him at three.
yeah,
Second, I'll go with Kimi because I think he has just been on a roll. First, I'll pick
yeah.
one of the McLaren's driver. I want to go with Norris here because I think he definitely will get a better chance. But
No, no, I think you're just saying that because of your fantasy picks. You want Oscar to win.
that could be true, but I'm not going to openly accept it. But what would be your top three picks?
I think, judging by the fact that McLarens are so good, but you saw that even being good is not enough when Kimi and Mercedes are doing really well. So I'll just go with the flow and I'll take Kimi as one. I'll go with Oscar as two because I don't think Oscar will like the result of this
Hmm.
week's GP and he'll try to bounce back. So Kimi P1, Oscar P2, and I'll put Norris as P3 because I think McLaren are still right now the current second best team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they might be better also.
Yeah, could be. We never know. We have to wait for the next few races to see that.
Hmm.
If Norris is able to perform, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, like, do let us know what would be your top three picks for the upcoming race, and we'll just see like who is able to predict better.
Yeah.
Please, yeah, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.